Hey chickies, thanks for hanging out for a few minutes today. We are finally going to be chatting about my 2019 beauty obsessions. This is the best of the best, from drugstore to high-end in my opinion. Grab a snack and I hope you'll join me for today's video. If you're new here, I'm Christine, curate beauty, lifestyle, as well as raw vlogs. Greatly appreciate it if you please subscribe to my channel. Would absolutely love it if you'd be a part of the Chickie crew. Also, don't forget to hit that bell to be notified of new videos. So, just a little FYI, Sunday faves and nays will resume this coming Sunday or next Sunday. So definitely make sure you hit that bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Hope you chickies are having a wonderful start to 2020. Let's jump into my 2019 beauty obsessions. Face primers. Now this is definitely a ride or die product. Smashbox Photo Finish Minimize Pores Primer. And the main reason why I love this primer is because it fills in all of these little pores on my nose, on my forehead, and it just gives me a nice smooth canvas when applying my foundation. This is a tried and true product for me. If ever I'm testing out a new foundation, this is the primer that I always grab for. Now on the flip side of that, another pore minimizing primer that I've been really enjoying this year, I Heart Revolution, and this is their Strawberry Whip pore blurring primer, which contains vitamin C and E. This does smell like strawberries, and let me just, I think I applied just a little bit too much. Keep in mind that this one from Smashbox, I've had this for a while. So here's just a little comparison of the two primers. The one from Makeup Revolution, it is a little bit more liquidy, but it also has like that smoothing effect, which really helps kind of fill in the pores, so it gives you a nice canvas when you apply your makeup. And it smells like strawberries, which isn't overly fragrant, doesn't linger very long, dissipates quite quickly. This one from I Heart Revolution is a really good alternative, but if you really want your makeup to last, I think this one from Smashbox is like, it is superb. Now because my skin has changed, especially with this weather we're having, because it's cold, it's dry, this is a primer that really surprised me, and it's more towards like the tail end of the year. Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It's actually the primer that I'm wearing underneath my current foundation. This is phenomenal in my opinion. Oops. Whoa, did you guys just see that? It has such a unique consistency, gel type of primer, and it does leave your skin feeling a little bit tacky. You want to let this kind of just soak into your skin before applying foundation. It hydrates the skin. It also prolongs the longevity of your foundation. I've noticed that this primer doesn't really fill in the pores. Right now my skin's looking for as much hydration as it can get, so I've just been using this all over. Now I'm always testing out new foundations, but the ones that I really found myself grabbing for a ton this year, this is definitely a tried and true product. It's from the brand It Cosmetics, and this is the Bye Bye Foundation. It's a full coverage moisturizer, which also contains the SPF 50, which I think is incredible. I'm a huge stickler for prevention of any sun damage to the skin because I love the sun. If you haven't seen my whole review comparison on it, I will link it up in the card area. Now on the flip side of that, this is a drugstore brand that really surprised me. It's from the brand Maybelline, and this is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup, and it contains the SPF 50. I also filmed a whole review on this, linked up in the card area. But the coverage is amazing. Plus, I love the fact how they have an array of shades to choose from. The difference between the one from It Cosmetics and the one from Maybelline is the one from It Cosmetics does contain a lot of skin-loving ingredients, whereas the one from Maybelline, it does not, but it does contain the SPF 50. So that's something, you know, to keep in mind. Another full coverage foundation I found myself really enjoying this year is from the brand Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It's supposed supposed to last up to 24 hours. I've never really tested that whole aspect, but it's mattifying. It's supposed to also feel like second skin effect, which honestly I absolutely think it does. Again, I have a full review on this product and how it wears. This is a great full coverage foundation that does keep you matte. It's not like a flat matte, that skin-like appearance, without it being like, you know, it sucks the living ish out of your face. Only gripe I would say is that if you go to Ulta, they only have very few shades available, but if you go on the Catrice website, they have a wide range of shade selection. Also wanted to mention that this is more of like a very liquidy foundation. It has a dropper, which I honestly don't mind. You just want to be careful with this because it can tend to get all over the place. It has also kind of dripped on my clothing at times, but nonetheless, I think it's an amazing full coverage foundation. For the under eye concealer, I'm going to give it hands down to the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is a I think my second or third bottle that I've purchased. Gives you that full coverage conceal underneath the eyes, but it doesn't end up looking cakey. It doesn't make that under eye area look dry. I love the fact how it's also emollient, but it's not super emollient where it will crease on you. Another concealer, which is from the Drugstore, which I've also been really enjoying. I kind of mix two under eye concealers, Makeup Obsession. It's the Mega Conceal Longwear Concealer with Caffeine. Caffeine is great for the under eye area, especially if you are tired. It kind of just wakes up the skin. This is also vegan and cruelty free. You can get pretty good full coverage. I wouldn't say the formula is as emollient as the one from Too Faced, so that's something just to kind of keep in mind, but I love the combination of these two. I'm always on the hunt for a good brow product, but I found myself this year actually going back to the ABH, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade. I have the shade Ebony, and this is a tried and true product. I think I've been using this for a couple of years now, and I always tend to go back to this one. On the flip side of that, a product that is Drugstore, I really put it to the test because I think I filmed something beginning of 2019, and then I actually even put it through like the waterproof test during the summertime. It's from the brand Maybelline, and this is the Tattoo Studio Brow Pomade. I have the shade 380 Deep Brown. If you haven't seen my full review on it, if it's really waterproof, if it's smudge proof, highly recommend you check out those videos, but I think it's definitely saying a lot if I'm mentioning it in my 2019 beauty obsession. So let's talk about eye products, and this was the category that I had a lot of trouble condensing because there were a lot of awesome products I tried out this year, and I really didn't want to skimp out on it because I think that they really deserved a spot to shine in this video. Now, Profusion is a drugstore brand. They have such affordable palettes. A couple of my favorites from this year. The Sienna's palette is definitely more of like warm matte colors. It also has some shimmers in here. This is like $10. It's so affordable. Another one that I really enjoyed playing around with is the Paradise palette. During the summertime, I loved playing around with the Spectrum 10 shade Pro Pigment palette. These are all matte eyeshadows and incredible pigmentation. So fun. I had such a blast this past summer just playing around with different colors and different looks and just really stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm not really scared to play around with color, but thinking outside the box to create looks that kind of did make me nervous. So this is a palette that again really shined for me this year. Profusion Classics palette. Neutral palette. You have some shimmers, you have your mattes. You can definitely create a very simple eye, also a very dramatic eye. This is actually the palette that I'm wearing today, minus the green that I have on the lid, which I'll speak about in a few minutes. Towards the end of the year, the Mirage Palette blew me away. Burnt colors, a lot of those amber colors. You have some mattes, you have some shimmers, pressed glitters in here. Playing around with more pressed glitter is something I want to explore more in 2020, but let me just say, this palette, if you haven't seen my whole tutorial using this palette, definitely check it out. This was a knockout palette for me towards the end of the year. Talk about the olive green on the lid today, and it is from the brand Koki Crystal Fusion Liquid eyeshadow. The packaging on this is beautiful. It's got like kind of like that rose gold feel to it. It's essentially like a liquid eyeshadow. Super affordable. I think it's like $5 or $6. I have another shade here which is more of, I want to say it's like a duochrome because it looks a little bit more like a purpley pink, but it also has some like reflexes in it. It's really gorgeous. If you're like me and have the most difficult time applying glitter with glitter glue and just getting it to stay in place, highly recommend you check out these from Pixi by Petra liquid fairy lights. And essentially it's like a liquid glitter eyeshadow. I have swatched right here. This is Starry Night. Right on the side we have rose gold, and then at the very top we have Bare Brilliance. This is a product that I was really skeptical about, but then once I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's super easy to apply these. Profusion. It's called the Bling It On Glitter Eyeliner. They honestly are so easy to use. I was really scared that this brush would be just horrific. It's a very fine brush tip. It's very easy to just kind of maneuver. You have this silver, then you also have this beautiful gold, and I wore this a ton, especially during the holiday season. This is a product I use a lot towards the beginning of the year, and even up to now, if I don't know what look to create or if I want something that's super easy, I just grab this product. Nude Sticks, and this is called their Magnetic Luminous Eye Color. This shade is called Copper Foil. It's a beautiful copper color. I love just applying this all over the lid. You can even use, say, like a bronzer as your crease color so that you have some transition like right into that socket area. That's it. You're out the door, and once it sets, it doesn't budge. It's one of those products where I was so impressed by it, because a lot of the times I don't like to use products where it's a stick form like this, because my lids are pretty oily, and a lot of the times these types of products crease on me. But with this product, I'm telling you, it doesn't crease, doesn't budge, it stays in place, and it's just like one of those products that I was just so impressed with from Nude Sticks. Now let's talk about mascaras. The one that is still a ride or die, Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. This is just one of those products that works for my lashes, and I love the effect it gives. No clumping, it separates, and it lengthens my lashes. Price point, it is pricier. It's like around the 20-ish vibe, but I think it's still well worth the price point. On the flip side of that, if you're looking for a mascara that's waterproof, that also gives you almost the same effect as the Too Faced, except this is the waterproof version, the one from L'Oreal. It's the Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara. This is actually a brand new tube. Like the other one I had was way too old. When you apply it, it's not going anywhere. You really have to use a good makeup remover to remove this stuff. So you're not gonna have any transfer, any flaking. It's not budging on you. Now let's talk about false lashes, faux lashes. It's actually the pair that I'm wearing right now. It's from the brand Golden Dream Beauty, and the style I'm wearing is called Hottie. These lashes are also very affordable. I believe it's like $10 a pair. They're pretty dramatic, but I love me like a good pair of dramatic lashes. Really love the bands on these. They're super comfortable. They're lightweight. These lashes seriously have lasted me. I think I've used them probably over 20 times. If you just clean your faux lashes and really disinfect them, you can get so much use out of them, and they are still going strong. It's Hydra here on YouTube. This is her brand. If you haven't checked them out, definitely don't sleep on it. Highly recommend you check out these lashes. Which is more on the drugstore side. I actually just ran out of my whole set. It's from the brand Kiss. These lashes are like one of my go-tos. I try to get them as close as possible to my natural lashes, especially if I'm out at an amusement park. If I go to Six Flags, normally I don't like to wear a lot of makeup on those days, like brows and lashes. These are the specific pair that I always tend to wear when I go there. I feel a little bit more put together when I wear them, and I can wear them on their own without any liner. If you're curious on the lash glue, still ride or die, it's going to the brand Esquito. This is the Lash Companion Lash Glue. This thing stays in place. We have a couple more categories we haven't talked about yet, so let's actually start with contour, a product I've talked about the past couple of years. It's Drugstore, it's very affordable, and it's still like a ride or die. It's from the brand Profusion, and this is their contour palette. This is honestly like a palette that I just can't get enough of. It's actually what I use to like contour my nose. I haven't really been contouring like my cheekbones in, well, I mean, I guess sometimes I do, but not all the time. But I kind of just mix these two colors. As you can see, like I really dipped into this other one. The mixture of these two shades I find works perfectly with my skin tone because it has a little bit of warmth, but also has a little bit of that grayish undertone to kind of create like that shadow. Now, as for bronzers, there were a few that I just kind of rotated during the year depending on how tan I was at the time. So the ones that I always found myself grabbing for, it's this one from IT Cosmetics. This is their Bye Bye Pores bronzer in the shade Beach, which smells like coconut. It'll give me a little bit more of a sun-kissed look. Plus, I love the formula of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores line. I probably would gravitate right now also because I've definitely lost my tan. I feel like, you know, we need to be in the sun again. Another one is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in Deep Bronze. Now, this is a bronzer that also smells amazing. I tend to gravitate towards the summertime when I am a little bit more tan. If I had self-tan, this is the shade that I would gravitate towards. I love how it gives you like that bronzy look, but it doesn't make you look orange. One I found myself really grabbing for towards mid-year up to now, it's actually more of a palette. This came in my BoxyCharm. It's the Too Faced Natural Face palette. It's also the bronzer that I'm wearing today, and it's this one called Sun Honey, which is right up here in the corner. This whole entire palette smells like powder. There's even a dip in the pan because I've used it that much. I absolutely love this bronzer. It does give me a little bit of warmth. It doesn't have that orangey look. Since we're on the topic of this palette, I have to mention now blushes. Now, a blush that I've been wearing a lot, especially towards the tail end of the year, Pink Sand, which is right down here. It's definitely more of like a mauvey pink, pretty neutral shade. It goes with so many different eye looks. I'm actually not wearing this blush today, but majority of the time, I would say I've been wearing this blush from the brand I Heart Revolution, and this is their Peach and Glow palette. On one side, you have the peachy blush, and then on the other side you have more of like the highlight. Actually, what I'm wearing today, occasionally also like to use the highlighter, but the blush is the one that I really wanted to speak about, and it's also super affordable. Another one I found myself grabbing for a ton during the summertime, it's from the brand L'Oreal, and this is the Blush Please shimmering blush in the shade called Blushing in Riviera. I honestly wish that they had kept this as part of their permanent line because this blush, it's gorgeous. It does have a little bit of like a shimmer to it, very fine shimmer, but it also has a shift to it, which I think looks beautiful when the sun hits it. It's definitely a blush that I could see using during like spring, summertime. Not really right now. I know I always speak about different highlighters, but the one that I'd have to say really blew me out of the water, it's Drugstore. It's affordable. It's from the brand Makeup Obsession. This is the Mega Honey. I am wearing it today on the high points of my cheek, on the tip of my nose, but this was like one of those products I was so blown away with. It's more of like a baked highlighter. Hopefully that's doing it justice because it just looks gorgeous, not powdery. It doesn't just sit on the skin. It just kind of melts into the skin. For powders, I know I've spoken about this, I think for the last couple of years, it's still the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed. This is actually a brand new one because I accidentally dropped my other one and it shattered, it cracked everywhere, and then it kind of just spilled all over the place on my floor. Like one of those products that just blurs the look of your pores. It sets your makeup, it absorbs the oil. It's such a great powder. Two loose powders which I use to kind of really create a nice sharp contour, or in my case I just love to have more defined cheekbones. Now the one that I found, which is Drugstore, it's from the brand Number 7, and this is their translucent perfect light loose powder. I think I used this one towards the beginning of the year. I'm actually using that today. I really, really love this just to kind of create a nice, sharp, crisp line. And then I just kick it off after a couple of minutes. More on the high end. And to be quite honest, when I first tried this product, I didn't like it, especially when I dusted it all over the face and even for the under eye area. I was not about it, but using it to kind of like create that sharp edge on the cheekbones, I'm all about it. And it's from the brand Becca. This is their Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. This has a very unique formula. It has a cooling effect to the skin. It's also super finely milled. The thing that's unique about this is that once you apply it to the skin, if you let it set, you really have to make sure that you dust it off very well, or else you will still see like that the powder on the skin. That's how much it like sticks to the skin. Now let's talk about lippies. I'm always about that matte liquid lipstick, but this year the lip products for me that stood out the most were lip glosses, and they are from the brand I Heart Revolution. I Heart Chocolates lip glosses. These are so affordable. They're $5. They smell like chocolates. A couple different shades here that were just like in rotation in my bag. I have here chocolate orange. It's definitely a little bit more like on the pinky peachy side. We also have here mint chocolate. It smells like mint, it smells like chocolate. It's called Salted Caramel. Salted Caramel, which is right here on the side, that's actually what I'm wearing today. I have it paired with a lip liner. These lip glosses were like my go-tos for the whole year. If I didn't know what lip color to wear, most likely I was wearing one of these glosses. They are so lightweight, they're not sticky, they smell amazing. Price point is incredible. Comment below your 2019 makeup obsessions. Have you guys tried out any of these products? If you did, how did they work out for you? If you're thinking about purchasing any of these items, I'm curious to know which ones are on your radar. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please make sure you give it a like. Subscribe if you have not already. Would love for you to be a part of the Chickie crew. Thank you, Chickies, so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.